Minimums.
Ryanair 8957, descend via Resume 3 Echo into Malpensa, QNH 90903.
Ryanair 8957, Milan radar cleared in low transition. Expect the ILS Zulu runway 35 right approach into Malpensa. Ryanair 8957, I've got a more direct path for you. Descend flight level 100. Maintain current heading 155 vectors for the ILS runway 35 right approach.
Descend flight level 100. Maintain heading 155 for vectors to the ILS runway 35 right approach. Ryanair 8957.
Ryanair 8957, descend flight level 060, QNH 904.
Descending flight level 060, QNH 994.
Do you want the belts
Ryanair
on?
8957.
Said QNH, no, 4.
Seatbelts on.
Ryanair 8957, descend altitude 5,000 feet.
Descending to 5,000 feet. Ryanair 8957.
Ryanair 8957, direct inlet approved. Ryanair 419, Bravo contact Malpensa Tower on 128.35.
128.35, Ryanair 419 Bravo.
Ryanair 8957, 6 miles from Totco. Turn right heading 275, descend altitude 3,000 feet until established on the localizer. Course for the ILS runway 35 right approach.
Right heading 275. Descend 3,000 until established on the localizer. Cleared ILS runway 35 right approach. Ryanair 8957.
Flips 1.
Flaps 1. Cabin crew, seats for landing.
Ryanair 8957, contact Malpensa Tower on 128.35.
Contacting Malpensa Tower on 128.35. Ryanair
That's
8957.
Ryanair 8957, Camry Tower, roger. Ryanair 8957, winds calm, runway 35 right, cleared to land.
Cleared to land runway 35 right,
Gear
Ryanair
down, plus 15.
8957.
Gear down. Flaps 15.
Landing checklist, 2 flaps.
Landing checklist to flaps. Start switches.
Continuous.
Recall.
Check.
Speed brake.
Armed. Inline.
Landing gear.
Down. 3 green.
Auto brake.
2. Set.
1,000.
Flaps 30.
Flaps 30.
Complete the checklist.
Flaps.
30, 30. Inline.
Landing lines.
Egypt Air 703, winds 330 at 7, runway
Complete the
35
checklist.
left.
Landing
Cleared
lines.
to land.
Landing checklist completed.
Clear to land, 35 left, Egypt Air 703.
Singapore 355, hold short of runway 35 left.
Holding short of runway 35 left, Singapore 355.
Plus 100. Minimums.
Minimums.
$50, $40, $30, $20, $10.
Speed brake up. Reverse normal. 5-2%.
Manual braking.
Auto brake disarmed.
Singapore
100
355,
knots.
Check.
hold short of runway 35 left.
80 knots.
Check.
Hold short of 35 left, Singapore 355.
60 knots.
Check.
Ryanair 8957, contact ground on 121.825.
Pushing to ground on 121.825, Ryanair 8957.
Check speed.
runway 35 left taxi via Sierra, Kilo, Zulu Charlie, Whiskey, Golf Whiskey.
Runway 35 left taxi via Sierra, Kilo, Zulu Charlie, Whiskey, Golf Air 22.
APU on the buses.
Transit shutdown checklist.
Electrical.
On APU.
Fasten belts.
Off. Cabin crew disarm static cross check.
Probe heat.
Off.
Anti-ice.
Off.
Voice recorder.
On.
Air conditioning packs.
Auto.
Engine bleeds.
On.
APU bleed.
Off.
Exterior lights.
Steady. Set.
Start switches.
Off.
Auto brake.
Off.
Speed brake.
Down detent.
Flaps.
Up. No lights.
Parking brake.
Set.
Start levers.
Cut off.
Weather radar.
Off.
Transponder.
2000. Standby.
Transponder. CV RCB.
In.
Cockpit door.
Unlocked.
Transit shutdown checklist completed.
Kilograms required. 8430 kilograms. On board. Pumps on.
Fasten belts.
On.
Window heat.
On.
Air conditioning and pressurization.
Pegs auto. Leads on set.
Pressurization mode selector.
Auto.
Instruments.
Cross checked.
Auto brake.
RTO.
Auto brake. Speed brake.
Down detent.
Parking brake.
Set.
Stabilizer trim cut and switched.
Normal.
Radios, radar, and transponder.
Set and stand.
Ryanair 8957, Romeo pushback and engine start approved, face south.
Before start checklist below the line.
Before start checklist below the line. Air conditioning packs.
Off.
Anti-collision light.
On.
Parking brake.
Set.
Transponder.
Thank you. Hype off.
Before start checklist below the line completed.
Commencing the push.
Yes.
All engines clear. Start at wind.
Start sequence is 2 then 1.
Check.
Start engine 2.
Starting engine 2. Oil pressure. Starter cutout.
Start engine 1.
Starting engine 1. Oil pressure. Starter cutout.
Press button to brake.
Full left. Full right. Center. Full up. Full down. Center. Rudder. Full left. Full right. Center. Flight controls check complete. Before taxi checklist.
Before taxi checklist, generators.
On.
APU.
Off.
Start switches.
Continuous.
Probe heat.
On.
Anti-ice.
Off.
Air conditioning.
PX auto. Leads on.
Isolation valve.
Auto.
Flaps.
By. Required. By. Selected. Green light.
Stabilizer trim.
5.0 units. Required. 5.0 units. Set.
Start levers.
Idle event.
Flight controls.
Check.
Recall.
Check.
Before taxi checklist completed.
Clear left.
Clear right.
Config check.
Ryanair 8957 Romeo, runway 35 right taxi via Yankee, Uniform Whiskey, Foxtrot, hold short of runway 35 left, then Foxtrot Echo, Charlie, Charlie Alpha. Ryanair 8957 Romeo, cross runway 35 left, then continue taxi via Foxtrot.
Cross runway 35 left, then continue via Foxtrot. Ryanair 8957 Romeo.
Ground,
Before takeoff checklist to the line.
Before takeoff checklist to the line. Config.
Check.
Flaps.
Ryanair 8957 Romeo, cross
Stabilizer
runway
trim.
35 left, then continue
Set.
taxi via
Takeoff
Foxtrot
briefing.
Echo,
PX
Charlie,
auto.
Charlie
Leads on.
Alpha.
Speed. 14112.
Cross runway 35 left,
Set.
then Foxtrot
Stop
Echo,
altitude
Charlie,
is
Charlie Alpha.
4,000 feet.
Ryanair 8957.
Cabin.
Secure.
Before takeoff checklist to the line completed.
Ryanair 8957 Romeo, contact tower on 128.35 for departure clearance.
Ryanair 8957 Romeo Malpensa Tower, runway 35 right, winds 310 at 5, cleared for takeoff.
Stand by. Cabin crew seats for departure.
Before takeoff checklist below the line.
Before takeoff checklist below the line. MCP.
Set.
Transponder.
TARA.
Strobe lights.
On.
Landing lights.
Complete the checklist.
Landing lights.
On.
Before takeoff checklist below the line completed. Stabilized.
Set takeoff thrust.
Takeoff thrust set. Indicators normal. knots.
Check.
V1.
V1. Rotate.
Gear up.
Positive rate. Gear up.
Engage heading select.
Heading select.
Ryanair 8957 Romeo, contact departure on 118.805.
Switching to departure on 118.805.
Buck up.
Ryanair 8957, Romeo.
Flaps 1.
Flaps 1.
Ryanair 8957, Romeo Milan radar identified. Climb flight level 140.
Climb flight level 140. Ryanair 8957, Romeo.
Ryanair 8957, Romeo, climb flight level 220.
Flaps up.
Flaps up.
Climbing flight level 220. Ryanair 8957, Romeo.
Ryanair 8957, Romeo, contact Milan radar on 135.455.
Set standard.
Switching to Milan radar on 135.455. Ryanair 8957, Romeo.
Stand by.
Passing flight level 085.
After takeoff checklist complete. Happy to release the cabin crew?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Milan radar, Ryanair 8957, Romeo. Good afternoon. Flight level 060 for flight level 220.
After takeoff checklist, air conditioning and pressurization. 3.1 set altimeters.
Ryanair 8957, Romeo Milan radar. Climb flight level 220.
Altimeters.
Flight level 220. Ryanair 8957, Romeo.
10 checks.
10 checks. Fuel, 4, pumps on, lights, APU, air conditioning and pressurization. 3.6 fasten belts. Happy to release the cabin? Recall. Monitor 121.50 on VHF 2.
Yes, please.
Okay.
Milan radar, Ryanair 30 Papa Delta, flight level 370.
Ryanair 30 Papa Delta, radar contact.
Ryanair 9er Victor uniform contact Milan Military Center on 121.14.
121.14, Ryanair 9er Victor uniform.
Ryanair 8957, Romeo, contact Milan radar on 135.9er. Ryanair 8957, Romeo, Milan, radar, climb flight level 370.